What is sugar? Sugar is a type of carbohydrate and can be found in a lot of different kinds of food. It's most concentrated in white sugar, which has been extracted from a plant and refined into a crystal substance. Regardless of where it comes from, our body eventually turns it into glucose, which is ultimately used for energy. Glucose is our brain and muscles' primarily preferred fuel source. So if our body needs it to function properly, why does sugar have such a bad reputation? Sugars can be extracted from two different categories of carbohydrates. The first one is called complex carbs, and these are usually the ones that are found naturally in foods. The other is called simple carbs, and these are usually the sugars that are added to things like sweetened coffee drinks, energy drinks, store-bought cereal, and candies. These simple carbs cause a rapid spike in blood sugar and then a rapid drop. That's why sometimes we can crash and feel tired after eating something especially sweet. Aside from fatigue, there are potential long-term effects to excess sugar intake. Excessive sugar intake in the form of added sugar, specifically in sugar-sweetened beverages, can contribute to an increased risk of weight gain, diabetes, cavities, and other chronic illnesses. What about sugars that are naturally found in foods such as whole grains, legumes, fruits and vegetables? These complex carbs have a more complex structure, which means it takes longer for your body to break them down. That means the body processes and digests the sugar slowly, which is a good thing, because it gives you long-lasting energy, and the fiber keeps you fuller for longer. Fruits contain both simple carbohydrates and complex carbohydrates, which complicates things. The main thing that differentiates fruit from fruit juices is that whole fruit contains fiber. The fiber helps slow down the digestion of sugars. Also, fruits contain nutrients that are good for your body. Smoothies are good for you. They keep the fiber intact because you're adding the whole fruit to the blender. However, some smoothies can contain too many fruits. Something you can do to balance out the sugar is to add healthy fats and protein, which helps our body slow down the sugar intake. Now what about coconut sugar or maple syrup or blackstrap molasses? These are more natural than the processed white sugar, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's better for you, and process them the same way. And they're still considered simple carbs. We can use these natural sweeteners to replace sugar, but they still need to be used in moderation. Now what about other sugar substitutes, like stevia and other artificial sweeteners? These are usually 0 calories. That's why so many people choose to use them. They haven't been linked to diseases such as diabetes, which is good. However, there are other issues concerning artificial sweeteners. They trick the brain, because consuming them gives our body the same satisfaction as it does when you eat sugar, which doesn't help curb sugar cravings. How to manage sugar intake? Well, the first and easiest thing to do is decrease the amount of sugar in our recipes. For most recipes, we can decrease 1/4 of the amount used regularly without noticing a big difference in the taste or texture. Number 2 is using whole foods to sweeten things up, such as dates or mashed bananas in a baking recipe, or even some unsweetened applesauce. We don't need to add sweeteners to our smoothies if we let the fruits naturally sweeten them. Same goes with our oatmeal. We can add stewed whole fruits or berries and add them instead of sweetener to our oats. We can also use spices whenever possible. Spices such as cinnamon, pumpkin spice, or vanilla extract to add flavor without using sweeteners. Number 4 is sugar craving can be mistaken for thirst, so try drinking a glass of water first. Number 5, if water doesn't satisfy you because you're used to the sodas and juices and other sweetened drinks, try flavoring your water with lemon slices, cucumbers, and mint. When ordering coffee or a tea drink outside, you can request half or 1/4 of the sweetener and fewer pumps of syrup. Number 6, try purchasing unsweetened milk and yogurts, and then you can control how much sweetener goes in it. When you make things yourself, you have more control over what goes into your recipes and meals. This allows you to sweeten dishes using food sources such as fruits in place of refined sugars when possible. Number 7, if you're craving something sweet after dinner, try having fruit. You can dip apples in nut butter, or dip some strawberries in some unsweetened dark chocolate. 8. Store condiments contain a high amount of sugar, so whenever you can, try making your own salad dressings and dips. Number 9, and maybe one of the most important, is read the labels of the food that you buy. Many companies use other names for sugar, such as evaporated cane juice, caramel, dextrin, lactose, dextrose, and sucrose. When reading labels in the store, if sugar is one of the first ingredients listed, try looking around for any substitutes. For example, these two flavored cereals are both organic and contain natural sourced ingredients. However, one contains no sugar at all, while the other contains 11 grams, just as much as any generic sweetened cereal. Finally, when you decrease the amount of sugar in your diet, you'll find that your body stops craving highly sweetened foods. We don't like to label foods as good or bad. Not all sugars are as bad as we make them out to be. Processed sugar, sweeteners, and artificial foods are the ones we try to eat less often. When you need to eat sweetened foods, try to eat a homemade version so you can control the amount of sugar added. It's hard to cut sugar out completely, but we can always try to eat it consciously and in moderation.